Have you ever just stopped and really thought about the things around you? I mean, what is the chair you're sitting on, fundamentally? Or the screen you're looking at right now? Well, let's get into it, because this seemingly simple question, it actually opens up one of the biggest, oldest debates in all of philosophy. Okay, let's take a look at this book. What is it really? Yeah, you'd say, it's a book. Duh. But what does that even mean? Is it the paper and the ink? Is it the story inside? Or is it something else? This is the rabbit hole we're jumping into. Philosophers basically slice this problem in two. On one hand, you've got the simple fact that it's a thing, an object. But on the other hand, it has all these qualities, or what they call properties. You know, it's rectangular, it's heavy, it's a paperback. So here's the real puzzle. Can you actually separate the thing from its qualities? And if you could, what would even be left? To even begin to answer that, we have to look at how philosophers try to map out reality itself. Their first step is to try and sort everything, and I mean absolutely everything, into two giant basic categories.
This idea is called the metaphysical divide. The goal here is to create two huge buckets that can hold everything in existence. Nothing gets left out, and nothing can be in both buckets. So in one bucket, you throw all the objects, planets, people, trees, books. And in the other bucket, you put all the properties, things like green, tall, smooth, kind, rectangular.
So you might be asking, why bother doing this? What's the point? Well, it's a way to answer what's known as the contrast question. If you have a category called object, what's its logical opposite? What exactly is a non-object? And this whole framework gives a pretty neat answer. The opposite of an object is a property. All right, so we've got our two categories, but how do we tell them apart in the real world? It's not always so obvious. Let's play detective and look at the clues philosophers use to solve this metaphysical mystery. Our first clue is hidden in the way we talk. Just think about a simple sentence like, the book is rectangular. The word book is the subject of the sentence, right? It's the thing we're talking about. Rectangular is the predicate. It's what we're saying about the book. It seems that objects almost always play the role of the subject, and properties are what we use to describe them. Here's another huge clue, and it has to do with location. An object, like this one specific book right here, can only be in one place at one time. It's singly located. But what about its properties? Think about the specific shade of red on its cover. That exact same shade of red can be on a car, a stop sign, and a million other things all at the same time. Properties can be in many places at once. This leads us to another distinction, physicality. Objects are what we'd call concrete. You can touch them, they've got mass, they can, knock something over. But properties are generally seen as abstract. They're immaterial. The idea of redness itself doesn't weigh anything. It can't physically interact with the world. The philosopher P.F. Strawson pointed out another clue. You can perceive objects with your senses, right? You can see, touch, and smell a flower. But can you perceive the property of hope or even rectangularity all by itself, just floating in the air, separate from any object? Strawson argued no, you can't. You perceive the rectangular book, not the abstract idea of rectangularity. Okay, so we've got some good clues to tell objects and properties apart. But here's the thing, this just makes the mystery even deeper. Because if an object isn't the same as its properties, then what on earth is it? What is a thing actually made of? This very question splits philosophy into two huge camps. First, you have constituent ontologies. These theories argue that properties are literally parts of an object. They're inside it. Then you have relational ontologies, which say, nope, properties are completely separate things, and objects are just related to them somehow. So let's check out that first view, starting with something called bundle theory. And this idea is a little wild. It says there is no object underneath it all. An apple isn't a thing that has redness and roundness. The apple simply is redness, roundness, and sweetness all bundled up in the same spot. Take away the properties, and there's literally nothing left. Now, the other side of that coin is a view called bare particularism. This theory says, whoa, hold on, there is a core thing there. They call it a substratum or a bare particular. It's kind of like a pincushion that has no properties itself, it's not colored or shaped, but it's the thing that all the properties, the pins, stick into. It's what makes two perfectly identical golf balls two separate things, not just one. And that brings us to that other major camp, the relational view. This is where you get ideas like Platonism. The argument here is that properties like redness or roundness are perfect, ideal forms, universals, that exist in some other realm, totally outside of space and time.
So an apple isn't made of redness. It just participates in that perfect idea of redness. It's connected to it, but externally.
So, after all of that, where does that leave us? We have these totally competing, totally fascinating, and completely different ways of understanding the world. So, what does this all mean for what we call reality?
Well, what it means is we're left with at least 3 completely different ways to see any object. Depending on which theory you find more convincing, you're either looking at a simple bundle of qualities and nothing more, or you're looking at some mysterious something that has those qualities, or you're looking at a physical blob that has some kind of external cosmic connection to its qualities.
And the most important takeaway here is that this is not just a game of words. This isn't just some abstract philosophical exercise. How you answer this question, what an object is, fundamentally changes everything. It challenges the most basic assumptions we make about the world around us every single second.
Which leaves us with a final question to chew on. Is the universe ultimately made of solid, distinct things? Or is it just a massive, swirling collection of qualities, colors, shapes, textures that our minds happen to perceive as things? What is actually real?